Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want dawah partners, and you can be my dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
Walaikum salam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And you can get the free app by going to guideus.app and download it and use it right away on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer, anything that has a connection to the internet, and you will be live with us right now. Aha! Yes, and we were playing the song that is sung by the Muslims. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahil hamd, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. What is that called? Well, you know what? We have Dr. Adil with us right now, all the way from, he's from Egypt, but he's all the way from
Tampa.
Tampa, Florida. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's the older version right now to make it simple for everyone. We made it exactly the same way that the Haram in Mecca does it. So we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. And we just keep on repeating it. This is affirming that God is the greatest and there is no God but Allah. And to Him we praise and to Him we thank. So, and we just keep repeating that, and Allah loves it so much. And alhamdulillah, was a beautiful Eid celebration this morning, and everybody had a good time. We started early after Fajr, where people just sat till the sunrise. So the first service was 7:15, and it was packed, and the second one was later, 9:15. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. The kids had the goodie bags with all the sweets, and the adults had a chance to finally see their friends they haven't seen in a couple of years, and it was good. Everybody, was compliant with the mask and the social distancing, and alhamdulillah, 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 it went very peaceful without an incident. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that enabled us. We thank God Almighty that enabled us to have a beautiful, Eid prayer, the feast prayer, and to share it with the community at large, because, there were multiple activities, face painting, and kids have, even for a quick, for little kids, that meant a lot to them, just kind of remember what they used to do back in the good old days, pre-COVID. So it was a glimpse of that, and people loved it, and alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, it was peaceful and it was uneventful. So that's a very good news to report to you today.
MashaAllah, you said it's uneventful, but it was a big event, man. Come on. You mean it was no bad things happening.
No adverse events. No bad things happen.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, as long as we got that together, MashaAllah. Hey, you know what? I would like for us to talk about something today. First, I just want to listen to that again. Let's just listen to that one more time. I really liked it. Let's listen, and then tell me what how we can translate this the best way.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La
And now we're going to get the translation of what that was. You could see it on the screen, but I would just like to share that with you. Dr. Adil, mashallah, you know the Arabic language very well. What did it mean?
We affirm the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is the greatest. When we say Allahu Akbar. And I want to make sure that everybody knows what Allahu Akbar means and the significance of it. And in daily prayers and in Eid prayers, in life in general, anything that you are admired, Allahu Akbar. Anything that's really awesome, you say Allahu Akbar. Just a kind of constant reminder of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty. And in every 17 units, the basic units of prayer called rak'ah, that we at least say Allahu Akbar at least 7 times. So if you do the math, 7 times 17, that will give you like 119. And then if you also do the math, if you do after each prayer, we do Khatm Salah, or kind of concluding the prayer with remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say Allahu Akbar 33 times after each of the 5 daily prayer. That's 165 plus 119. So we do minimum of Allahu Akbar every day for average Muslim, close to 250 times a day. But then during the day, when you have admiration, when you have something amazing happening, you say Allahu Akbar. when you see someone who's about to be saved from bad accident, Allahu Akbar, because it's Allah who ordains and Allah who's in control of our lives, our destiny, and everything that runs around this. It happens and because ultimately there is the superpower of Allah that dominates everything over everything. So when we say Allahu Akbar, that's really affirms the faith in Allah, and Allah loves the dhikr of Allah in those particular days.
I have a question already. You used an Arabic word. I think you said dhikr.
Yes.
What is it? How can I understand that?
Yes, absolutely. Dhikr is remembrance of Allah, dhikrullah. So if you keep your mouth moist with the remembrance of Allah, whatever it is, we could say Subhanallah, glorified to Allah, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah, Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, there is no help and no power except with Allah. In anything you do, it is really Allah, God Almighty, is the source of power and help and support and inspiration and in ability, the ability to give you the ability to do things that you will never ever could be able to do on your own. So it kind of put things in perspective. And Allah loves to be mentioned as many times and often during the first 9 days of the Hajj, which was concluded last night and today. And then after that, for the first 4 days, starting today, that's day 1, it's actually day 10 of the Hajj, but day 1 as far as the Eid day, the day 1 of the Eid, and then followed as Yom Tashriq, the days that, if you're in Mecca performing Hajj, you will go and throw the stones at the Satan. And this is symbolic of the ongoing struggle between a believer, a Muslim, and Satan. And that will start from the day of Abraham.
Did Abraham, when he was trying to sacrifice his son, and the devil was telling him, "Oh, don't do that," and he kept throwing. Is that where it started from?
I believe this one of the versions of it. I don't know the specific one, but I've heard that from multiple scholars. The bottom line is, the people, when they explain it, the Ma'lumat days or assigned days, well-known marked days, the first 9 days of the Hajj, which concluded. But then now, starting another counting, which Ayyam Ma'dudat, few days, which are the first 4 days of Ayyam al-Tashriq. There are people who will do 3 days and then they go, and then some people would opt to stay an extra day. So it will be total 4.
Yeah, actually, you know what? This is the Eid. So we have a website. It's called the 2 Eids. And you can find out about all of the Eid stuff there. But also we have another website. It's about the Hajj. So when somebody's getting ready to do Hajj, they can go to that one. But let's put up this one right now. Let's see if we can make it happen. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. The 2eids.com. You can use TWO or just use the 2 Eids like that. And this will make it real easy for you. 2eids.com. And when you go there, you'll be surprised because it actually has a lot of interesting things about the Eid, not the least of which, and I'm going to ask the doctor, by the way, we don't rehearse any of this. So, no, we don't talk about it.
It's all spontaneous. It's all spontaneous.
I like the spontaneity of it, and I just wanted to use a big word right there. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is show everybody something 30 years ago, from beautiful scholars of Islam. They got together, and a scholar by the name of Muhammad Jibali, he is we knew him at that time 30 years ago when I first came to Islam, and this is what he posted, and I would like to put that up for you guys to see it. and it was the questions about Eid. And you see that right there? All right, now I'm going to click it, and it will take you to the part of our websites that had these questions on it. And then it's, Facebook wants to know if we really want to do that. And of course we do. So let's put this right here. Transition. All right. Now, you see the questions that are here? It says, now I'm going to ask Dr. Adel about this, because this is something, everybody has their own ideas about, the scholars do have their own ideas about such things as this. But first and foremost, it says, can a family decorate the inside or outside of their home with white electric strings of light? All right. And now let's find out what would be that answer.
Okay, I'm not a scholar.
And
but,
let me read you the answer first, and then we can talk about that. It said, the answer was, this was never a practice of the Salaf or their true followers. So now we can come back to us right here and talk about that. In other words, he's saying no, because it wasn't a practice of the Salaf and there's the early scholars of Islam.
Actually, like I said, I'm not a scholar, and from again what I have read and came across, that simple signs of joy, like we were brought a couple of balloons for the kids to see, and maybe take one on the way home. And obviously it was the Salah today was an early Fajr, so we had some lights on. Some used colored lights, some used in front of the house to reflect a joyful event or celebration, which people may now actually be a sign of educating a neighbor. What you guys doing? Are you guys celebrating something, and so on? And it starts a nice, healthy conversation, which could be, basically what is intended to educate people and do dawah in a way. Okay, when you tell them about the story of Abraham, a lot of people can relate to that. And the more that I talk to non-Muslims, actually, we have this in the Bible, we have this, and we can relate to them when I tell them about sacrifice and how symbolic, and when we do the qurbani, and then when our life is really centered about the sacrifice for the sake of God and so on. So they actually like that because now it dispels a lot of myth and misunderstanding, and there is no harm in it. So that should be okay.
Okay, but now what about other places now? Because obviously we're in the United States, and that already introduces a compromise, because we're not in a Muslim country. But where in the world do you know that a real Islamic environment is established? And that would be the place that I think that we should apply all of these different rulings. But I don't even know that exists, does it?
I'd like I said, I'm not a scholar. I like to keep things very simple. And I know that in particular around these days that there's a lot of weddings. And there's a lot of engagement parties for Muslims because they celebrate, it basically synchronized their weddings around either Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha. And that will also be another reason for the lights and the colors and all that. So it reflects the joy, whether it's just Eid alone or everything else that surrounds the Eid. On festivities and happiness and joyfulness. And, one of the things that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, emphasized in one of the hadith in the meaning, that when you bring joy and happiness to Muslim, that's really something that Allah loves so much. And, having a balloon to the kid and coming to, the Eid because they never got out of the car. Last year when we just drive through and we had to give them this, and people, want to come down to normality again, and so I don't think that in a sense that will be anything wrong with it.
Okay, well, I want to keep this really short because there's a bunch of these. So yeah, I get where you're going. Let me just finish it up. It said the second part of it said is not commonly. It is most commonly known to be a practice of Christians during the Christmas and New Year period. And then he said in number 3, it's an extravagant practice through which electricity, among other things, is wasted. And because of all of the above, the practice is not permissible. It is haram. So I accepted everything I heard from scholars in those days because I wasn't apprised of anything else. These were the people that we had here telling us, and we would go to conferences, conventions, and so on. And it was only later when I visited Egypt. And now, there's a long history about Egypt, and I'm going to save everybody the boring news about this, but Egypt has Al-Azhar University, okay? And for the last 1,000 years or so, they have, more than 1,000 years, they have had this university, and it has always been set there providing people with answers to questions. But the answers would change. The original folks, the Fatimids, they had their ideas. Then some other folks come along and they had ideas. Basic La ilaha illallah, it never changed. Muhammad Rasulullah, it did never change. But when it gets into these intricate details, then you will see changes. And this is what is called the understanding of the rulings or the fatwa. So, okay, in Islam, I'm sorry, I'm going to bore you a little bit. Okay, there's something called the Sharia. Sharia does not change. It always stays the same. That is it's translated as Islamic law, but it's a much bigger thing, because when I studied this, the scholars told us that this is like the water. It doesn't go anywhere. The water is there, but you bring your animals to the water. But the way you get your animals to the water can be different ways, because you're coming to different approaches. So this is called fiqh. The fiqh is how you get to the Sharia. And then some of the things that are not crystal clear from these, like little details. Can I hang light bulbs up? Well, there were no light bulbs at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, so this needs what's called a fatwa, or a ruling. And so the one who gives that ruling is called a mufti. Mufti. The mufti gives the fatwa about the things that we can't find in the Sharia or the fiqh. And so now that you got all of that, so these answers are what's called fatwa. These are the fatwas, all right? So this is not to open up an argument and have everybody fill up my thing on Facebook or YouTube or anything else that we're doing, because these are opinions applicable to the time and place where they occurred, all right? Let's.
And also, yes, but also this comes from a very well established, very well deep thought scholars that's basically spent their life to come up with answers, so that's restricted to this elite class of knowledgeable people who were basically qualified to give fatwa. So it's not for everybody.
I can't do it. I don't know, Doctor. Okay.
I'm not qualified.
What we're doing right now is just comparing 30 years ago in Texas to what we found now. But Islam now is connected all over the world, because people are watching us right now on the opposite side of the planet. And in 30 years ago, you couldn't do that. There was no way. So we had to rely on what was just in front of us, and scholars that had just come from Saudi Arabia or from different countries. And this is what they handed to us. And obviously, we would see a difference right now. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. And it will continue to evolve. Again, the core values and principles don't change.
Yeah.
But I would say you have to adjust to changes, like in technology, like in the way that, people are looking.
Okay. Okay. So the next question, it said, donations to purchase Eid gifts. And I don't even know what that means because it said, should the masjid solicit donations and purchase gifts in bulk quantity to be distributed according to the age and gender? Of course, if it's a gift, giving it Eid time is a sunnah practice. All right. And then the scholar that we had at that time, he said that the sunnah does not support the exchange of gifts on the occasion of Eid. The only exception is Zakat al-Fitr, given at the time of Eid al-Fitr, and that's a part of the sacrifice giving, and that is a sunnah. Would you like to comment about that?
It's not really like exchange of gifts. It's giving, the disadvantaged Muslims, those who are disfranchised, an opportunity to let them know that they're not forgotten during special holidays, and then bring joy and happiness, like I mentioned earlier. This is something that Rasulullah ﷺ emphasized so much. The orphans, the needy, the widows, those who are in distress, financial distress, and if you bring them, gifts, whatever it's monetary.
That's the next part of it. Let me just put this, because we've got to go to a break in a few minutes. It said, however, if the gift exchange results in a definite maslaha, a benefit for Muslims that cannot be obtained otherwise, so long as it brings feelings of pleasure, dignity to the Muslim children on these days, or to make dawah to the non-Muslims or the weak-hearted Muslims, then it, of course, can be done. Still, this should not be made a regular practice, consistently associated only with the Eid. And I like the way that they said that. Don't make it like only with the Eid, because if you did that, then all the rest of the time, because we only have 2 Eids. Oh, what are you going to be like? Tell the kids, no, you got to wait. You got to wait for Eid. Got to wait for Eid. That is like the Christians with the Christmas time. You give the gifts anytime that you want to give the gifts. Give it to the children. Don't connect it with the Eid, because then the children will think, oh, wow, it's not Eid yet. It's not Eid yet. I got to wait for Eid. This is not what the Eids or celebrations are about. These celebrations are to remember the things like Doctor was talking about earlier, and that is that we want to remember that Allah is the whole owner of the universe. And with that, let me take this little short break, and we'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned, stay guided with
Guidance TV.
Yeah, that one.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I love to listen to that. Listen to that. Okay, now we're back, and we've been talking about some of the questions, the way they get answered by folks that 30 years ago, and how would it compare to now? So let's pick up where we left off. And we're on 2eids.com, the number 2, EIDS.com. Inshallah, I'll put that up in a little bit. But take a look at the next question. It says, Pollyanna gift exchange for women and children. I never heard about this until today. And when I clicked on this, I didn't ever read it before. But I said, Pollyanna, what the heck is that? Doctor, do you know anything about this gift exchange thing?
This is, obviously not in Islam. This is like copying other celebrations of other than the Muslim faith. In Islam, we give to the needy and to the less fortunate ones, gifts around the Eid to bring the joy and happiness to them and make them also share that part of they're not left alone, they're not being forgotten.
Okay, but what is the Pollyanna gift exchange? And it says here, it's a type of exchange observed for women and children. The method is that they go by name, age, and gender slips, in other words, boy or girl, on a piece of paper, toss it in a hat. Then everybody draws out their name, and the name of the person who draws it out is a gift according to the modest amount of money specified on the slip of paper. I never heard of that. Did you hear about that before?
No, that's not an Islamic way of doing things.
Okay, so the answer, but the answer, he said, is this appears to be borrowed from non-Islamic practices, just like you said. Besides, instead of providing a fair way of gift distribution, the method seems to emphasize social differences and to cause hard feelings among the children of different financial status. So the practice is haram.
That's like Secret Santa.
Oh, okay. My wife clarified for me. Yeah, I still didn't hear about it before, but it's called Secret Santa.
It has nothing to do with Islam.
Nothing to do with Islam. So, guys, let's take a look at some of the other questions here, and then I'll tell you how you can get this and check it out for yourself, and then comment about it, because we did post it on Facebook. So if you have Facebook, you can do that. Can Eid gifts be given to non-Muslim relatives? Well, today the answer would be obviously. Can families exchange Eid greeting cards? Why was that even a question at that time? Time of the Eid feast? Anytime you're hungry, right?
There's billion of exchange cards right now electronically, all around the globe.
Yeah, major house cleaning during Eid, suggestions for teen girls activities, non-Islamic entertainment in Eid. Anything non-Islamic you got to be careful of, because it means it's haram to start with. Is that it to me?
Pretty
anyway?
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much. And everybody has to have a clear line drawn so that there'll be no mixing and no confusion. Our way, the Muslim way that Allah allowed and the Prophet ﷺ.
Okay.
The fun is totally different from others.
Another question. It says, selling goods in Eid, and there was an answer. Women praying alongside of men. It says with men because they pray with us all the time, but they don't pray up in the lines with the men. The women pray behind the men. The women are all together. The men are all together. And this is where they get the maximum rewards. And then it says, and I got to bring it up because I just remembered there's a limitation on, come on now. Yeah, there we go. The limitation on the screen, because they have here we go. So we have the phone number up there. What about Islamic songs? And
Okay. So first of all,
that was a question, and here's the thing about it. It was asking a question. It's an Islamic song to start with. If you said, what about an Islamic song? Well, duh. We wouldn't want a non-Islamic song, would we?
good Islamic song will bring joy and happiness, and may actually include part of it is dhikrullah or Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina in that. So that by itself you have joy, and also you learn something, and then it's a double rewards in for that.
Okay.
But going back, ladies, when you go to the masjid,
whoa. I want to let them because I want to give you a chance to talk about some of the medical things. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. All these questions that we just brought up, they are on our website, eids.com. And so let me bring that back up for you so that you can see where to get all of this. And I have to reshape this so that you can see it better. And you do it little inch by little inch to do this. Okay, here we go. All right, this is what the website looks like. It's called eids.com, and you can see that there are this is the questions. It's highlighted. There's also the extras here, and you can see Eid Takbir in Mecca, the Eid al-Fitr celebration, more about that, the Eid al-Adha, and anyway, so you can go there and just check it all out. eids.com, and inshallah you'll enjoy that. That's different. It's different. There's articles on there. Let me see if I can put up some of the articles for you. Okay, like definition, what to do in Eid, the Eid prayer, the impermissible acts of the celebration, zakat al-fitr, etiquettes of the sacrifice itself, a checklist that's here, and you click on that and it'll open that up, the questions that we've already reviewed, and then the extras. And by the way, I should also mention to you guys that we do have a website that this is for the both Eids, all right? But we have a website all about Hajj and Umrah, and it's called, interestingly enough, About Hajj. And this is it, just a quick glance at it so that you guys can know that we do have something like this. And whenever you get ready for the Hajj, be sure to check this out, because this is where you will find the information. It's called About Hajj, and it says it has extras, how to do it. You can click on these things. What is Hajj? Hajj in pre-Islamic times. Oh yeah, they had Hajj before there was Islam. So Islam is not introducing it. It just cleaned it up, because the Hajj started at the time of Abraham, according to some of the scholars, and some said you can trace the Kaaba all the way back to the time, the location of it, back to the time of Adam. But anyway, you'll get all of that information there about Hajj.com. Okay, doctor. Now, I would like for us to talk about what's going on with the medical side of what's happening in the world right now. Particularly, if you don't mind, let's focus on what is happening here in the United States. And I'm going to be real selfish and say about California, because I just heard it this morning on CNN. Unbelievable.
Yes. I just before that, I wanted to emphasize one important fact. Men and women should not be mixed together at the at the time of prayer, especially in the house of Allah. A family can pray together, separately at home, but in the masjid of Allah, in the house of Allah, men and women are ordered to pray separately. And then why the men is in the front and why the lady back? Because you guys are chauvinists, this and that. Because some people may have misunderstanding, and they say that it has nothing to do with that.
Actually, we have a video about that. They can watch that later.
Very good.
Yeah, so, I need you to talk about the medical side. I don't want to run out of time again.
Okay. You don't want to be distracted when you go to the mosque, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a must focus on, on being with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, in the United States, switching gears now, we're going into the Delta variant of coronavirus. It is spreading, and it's spreading in your neck of the wood in California, and specifically in LA County. But there's a predominance of the total number of people infected with COVID currently that are up to 83%. And that's according to the Wall Street Journal article that came out. So we know that it's more transmissible. We know that there's a high infectious rate that comes along with it, and people should be, aware of it, and then also take all the right precautions. It goes back to square one. What are we going to do with all these bugs and variants and changes and so on? The answer is not, like some people propose a third vaccine. Well, that may not be the answer, but I think we're going back to basics, which is enhance the immune system and strengthening it, so it will, now handle not only the conventional or traditional coronavirus, the basic form, if you would, are now the many variants that came along with it. And we had quite a few of these coronavirus variants. Now it just happened to be that is there's a surge specifically with coronavirus. And we have to work on things have to do with disparity of the care that's delivered. We have to deliver the same care across the board to all people, regardless of the differences in income and social status and so on. And that's a very important topic called the social determinants of health. At least for the basic part where people have access to good nutrition and basically access to healthy food, and obviously be able to get medical coverage and help and emphasize the fact of prevention. This kind of a sick care mentality. Oh, you don't do anything till you get sick, and then at that point in time we have all these huge bills and things could be done with $5. That it ended up with ICU from simple bronchitis with $5, ended up with ICU with pneumonia and intubation. People go into respiratory failure and ending up there for a month, which could be a multi-million-dollar bill. So the same approach, when people look at it, you can invest in prevention and wellness that will save you, billions and trillions of wasted healthcare dollars. And I'm so concerned about the long-term effects of coronavirus, because now almost 49.7%, according to the article, 50% of the severe COVID patients, those who went to the hospital, those who had been in intensive care units, some of them may be on a breathing machine, but all those people, even when they come out, quote unquote, everybody got excited. They got out of the hospital, they're still alive, but they have so many lingering symptoms of shortness of breath, of chest pain, of mental fogginess and cloudness, that they cannot really, think, straight and clearly and make proper decisions. Also, they may have other lingering damage in vital organs like kidneys or the heart. Inflammation of the heart muscle. It's called the myocarditis, and we touched on that previously. So I believe the basic preventative measures of mask and social distancing and improved sanitary measures, that will be with us for a long time, because this those folks who have been and we're talking about 50%, not just 1 or 2%, and those who do not take care of themselves, they still have toxins like alcohol and vaping and smoking and eating the wrong food and we'll do the high carbs and we said the refined sugar and so on. All that will give rise to diabetes and then depress the immune system further, and that will bring in more and more infections, which could be recurrent and could be lingering and it could be chronic. And the vaccination is not going to help that. because the vaccination does not prevent infection. I want to emphasize on that. It's a good measure to have, but if people stop at this but continue to do all the bad things and unhealthy lifestyle, that is not going to be the guarantee. Oh, I took vaccination, then I can go and binge alcohol and involve in risks of behaviors that will definitely harm my health and harm my body. And will make the immune system weak, so they'll be exposed to recurrence of COVID infection and more than now the new variants or even complications, like we mentioned previously about the black fungus and white fungus and so on.
Doctor, there is another thing too that I heard on CNN, and you can verify this if this is correct or not. But they quoted some health organization that has done the statistics, and they said of this new variant, which they're calling Delta, they said that the ones who have that are seriously, what do you call it?
Infected.
Yeah, seriously infected. That 92.8% had not received the vaccination, even one vaccination. And then that the ones that have died from this new variant is 99 point something percent that have not had any vaccination. They were stressing getting the vaccination, whether you like it or not, whether you're believing in all of these nonsense conspiracies, but just get it.
I would definitely, make sure that, now that it became free and accessible everywhere. I think
out here they advertised that. I saw that or heard it on the radio today. They said you can go to any of this particular drugstore. I can't remember it, but we're not supposed to do free commercials anyway. But anyway, any one of those locations of this particular drugstore, walk in, it's free. That's it. You just walk in and get it.
Anywhere in the nation, you're absolutely right, and I know it, but I'm not going to. Anyway, it's everywhere and in multiple places, and it's free. And again, you just have to be aware of these facts. But there are other things that people have to be aware of. Unfortunately, it happened in areas where a lot of minorities, a lot of poor neighborhoods, a lot of people who don't have access to healthy nutrition, a lot of people don't have access to proper screening and management of healthcare. So it's a part of a bigger problem. It had to do with social support and economic development, and also just improve the overall nutrition and health folks. But it's definitely beneficial. It's definitely important while you take the vaccine for now to get you kind of immune system improved. But for the longer lasting approach should be changing completely the lifestyle into healthy food and healthy water and clean environment, and limiting and managing of the stress. And also, the part of the healthy lifestyle is regular exercise. And then, for the Muslims now that we're talking about, the spiritual well-being is very, very important for the strength and the function of the immune system. If you, for instance, read Quran involved in the prayer, this has been proven already that the immune system will be stronger and will be more resilient in fighting infections and fighting cancer and fighting whatever the pathogen is, and will help you navigate through this tough times. If someone have a weak immune system and continue with all the bad habits, that will just flare up and lead to more infections and more complications that could be lifelong. something ironic during the COVID year. For people who have heart disease, for those, for instance, that have called stable angina, people walk, they have a heavy meal, they get chest pain, or they may have activities. I go to the mall after 5 blocks. I get the chest tightness. I have to stop for a minute, catch my breath. Then it goes away. I walk again for 5 blocks and then return. This is called stable angina. Same distance, same amount of activities. So they've been holding off on going and get procedures done. And this has been happening nationwide. And then, of course, have decreased the number of procedures, because a lot of people are worried about infections that have been delayed, especially if it's elective, it's not emergency. So now maybe in the healthcare, maybe we should really emphasize the fact that we go into optimal medical therapy again, and improved nutrition, and the same deal will translate into huge savings of money, and also will prevent further I would say wasted healthcare dollars. Just like $1 billion was spent last year alone on gun-related injuries. Just with all the violence and random shooting and so on, and people going to the trauma centers and getting to the OR and to get the bullet out or to help save lives, from those gunshot wounds. $1 billion. Can you imagine if this $1 billion was spent on, improving nutrition to help the malnourished kids? Now they're getting to be really, really so many, especially in the minorities population. So let's try to, focus on the preventable things and improve in the wellness part, because that will translate into huge savings and huge improvement in the healthcare outcome.
I think you're absolutely right, Doctor. This everything you said is just really something that common sense tells us this is what we should be looking at. First of all, take care of your own immune system, and second of all, look out for others. That's the basic teaching in Islam. Get yourself well first, get yourself in the best position, get yourself aligned. But like in Dawah, for instance, you want to go out and tell everybody about Islam. It's good to know something about what you're talking about first, so you get the knowledge. And then you go out and share that with other people. There's 2 things about this. Number 1 is get the right knowledge. Number 2, learn how to convey it, because it's not the same as reading a book. You have to know how to convey it. So when we come to the health thing, it's not that complicated. Get yourself as healthy as you can be, and learn a little bit about what health is in Islam, about the things that we should do and should eat and should not eat, should stay away from. And these things, put it in practice in your life. Then when you go out to tell others about it, be sure that you know how to do that. Maybe I should take this opportunity to talk about an Arabic word. The word that I'm going to lead up to, okay, is a key. It's a muftah, a key to what you need for Islam. Number 1 is to get the proper knowledge. Knowledge is called ilm. Yeah, real knowledge, not just data. Data, this is something that's interesting, but real knowledge. This is knowing how to use the knowledge that you have and the practice of that. All right? Now, that's for you. But then, whenever you want to share it, there's another word, hikmah. And the scholars told me a simple definition of hikmah is knowing when not to use it. In other
Wisdom.
words, knowing when not to say it, not just run out here, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, you see this all the time on social media. Everybody wants to weigh in on that. Oh, I think this, I think that. No, that hadith, that doesn't make sense to me. Oh, this, I don't think it's translated right, because obviously I know what I'm talking about, and if it's not my way, I don't take it. And by the way, that doesn't sound like Islam anymore, does it?
I can agree, further on this. The ilm is something that is being, practiced and also being thought. So no matter how knowledge you have, you always, humble yourself being a student, because that will enable you to learn more and be more, able to get to new aspects of things that you would never ever to be able to do before. Like every time you read the Quran, there may be a new meaning, a new dimension to the understanding of the ayah, of the verses that was never existed before. And that's just a small example. But in general, the knowledge, yes, it has to be sound knowledge and healthy knowledge, and then also the wisdom. The hikmah, the Arabic word, hikmah, is the wisdom of how the delivery and when and in which capacity and the avenues and so on. So it's a definite. People are looking for content that is credible, that is trustworthy. That will help them. That will help them to get them out of confusion and get them on the straight path to fix their life. And I'm talking about people in general, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. I'm just, we talked about this a minute ago. In your back of the neck of the woods in Los Angeles, they actually established the mask mandates and returned to Los Angeles as coronavirus rise. And for a year and a half, when people were arguing back and forth, but wear masks, not wear masks, and then everybody, they do a final statistical analysis. Wearing masks could reduce the death rate by 50%. So out of the 600,000 people who died, we could have saved 300,000. This is across the board. When it was the number of people that died, 400,000, they said 200,000. When it was 100,000 dead, 50,000 could have been saved. And we look at it and going through this useless arguments and so on. We know we're getting a lot of new variants, a lot of the very infectious and transmissible. And it lead to people surge in the hospitalization. It's like, here we go again. It's just like the fourth or the fifth surge in the coronavirus. Haven't we learned anything in the last year and a half?
We have a phone call. It's exciting.
Well, I guess we ran out of time again. I didn't want to do that, but we did it. So, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. So, guys, if you would check out our websites, we have shareislam.com. We have guideus.app to get the free app. And also, tonight we were talking about 2 Eids. Also, we spoke about Hajj, about Hajj.com. You can find out more information right there. And by the way, pray for us and stay tuned and stay guided with
Guidance TV, and don't forget about making Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want dawah partners, and you can be my dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.